You know what? This isn't something I've done before, but I might as well do my recap now. Like, this is the first ever live reaction recap you guys have gotten from me. I'm going to do the recap right here, right now. Because, like, with 7:53 left to go in the game, you're down 17. The game is set. So, it's over. We can sit back and talk about this. It's over. So, with that being said, I think it would be the right time to do my recap live. And I'll probably have to edit this later on, but I'm going to do a live recap here as Cincinnati continues to put their foot on our necks. So, yeah, how do we rate this game here? Well, the Ravens got the crap kicked out of them in their house. It was embarrassing. They got blown out. Cincinnati comes out here and they make a statement. I want to sit back and first congratulate the Cincinnati Bengals for getting the job done. You moved to 5-2. Cincinnati, give them their credit. What they've done this season, they beat Pittsburgh, and now they've beaten us. They are 2-0 in the division, and they're about to be 5-2. So, Cincinnati this year, they feel like that 2015 team. As long as they can keep Joe Burrow healthy, they will be fine. They're going to be a threat. So, congratulations to them. I got to give them their credit. They played an amazing game. Joe Burrow, in this game, he absolutely killed it. I mean, it's not like he was throwing a lot of bombs down the field, but when he was making plays, he was making plays. Got to give them credit, man. Straight up, got to give them their credit. Just Joe Burrow today, man. Over 400 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. He absolutely dominated. He did what he needed to do. He killed it. He absolutely killed it. Jamar Chase, man. Jamar Chase in this game did exactly what I didn't think he'd go. I'm not going to say I didn't think he was going to be great. I thought he was going to be great. I didn't think it'd be like this. Because, my God, this man today cooked our secondary for over 200 yards receiving. It was, what the hell? Oh, wow, 40-17. Welcome, guys. This is the recap. It's happening. Right as I'm recapping how embarrassing this display is, Mixon I don't even know, was that Mixon who did it? No, this was, oh my God, a 46-yard touchdown run. They dropped 40 on our heads. What a joke. But, yeah, back to the recap here, because this is live. Bengals proceeded to absolutely dismantle our defense. If we're going to account for it, the Ravens defense gave up over 500 yards of total offense. Over 500. In fact, they might be close to 600 here. If we're looking at this right, let me check this real quick. Burrow had 416. Then you have a 59-yard rush and a 52-yard rushing yards from Mixon and Paneer. So yeah, over 500 yards receiving. And 41 points dropped on your head. What is this defense? What is this defense? What is this defense? Like, bro, seriously, what is this defense? This defense is a joke. Everybody was so happy. Oh, they dominated. And I gave them credit. I didn't think they would dominate the Chargers. I thought the Chargers were going to drop 35 points on our defense. But give credit to the defense. They showed up and played in that game. Credit to them. But I said, just because they managed to shut down the Chargers does not mean they're going to shut us down. Not us. That doesn't mean they're going to shut down the Bengals. Joe Burrow and the Bengals play an entirely different level of football to what the Chargers play. The Chargers are willing to go for it on 4th down. These guys here, Cincinnati plays an entirely different game from what the Chargers do. And it was clear as day when they came in. First half, Ravens defense did what they could. The Ravens defense did what they could in the first half. They held them. Second half, they didn't stop a damn thing. One of the worst defensive displays I've seen from a while. This defense should be ashamed of themselves. They are an embarrassment. They're an embarrassment. Bro, no, you don't. I'm sorry. You give up over 500 yards of offense and 41 points, and I'm supposed to sit there and be like, well, you're good players, but yet, no. You've been doing this consistently. You give up so many yards. You give up so many yards. It's a joke how much yards this defense gives up. We're one of the worst in the league when it comes to that. You can't stop the pass. You at least were able to stop the run. Not today. You've been a joke. The defense has been a joke. Wink Martindale has not done his job for much of this season. That's great. We've got all the comebacks. Players are making plays. But it doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean much. Defense has been a joke. Marlon Humphrey got cooked all day. He couldn't cover this man, Jamar Chase, if you paid him. Oh, wait, we are paying him. And he still couldn't cover him. Oh, my God. That was just pathetic. You know the game is over when you put in Tyler Huntley. Why we got to put Huntley in? I don't want him to have to deal with this. Huntley doesn't deserve to be dealing with this nonsense. This was a joke. It was an embarrassment. Defensively was a joke. I mean, it was a pathetic display. They couldn't stop anything. And what's worse, we were dealing with injuries again in this game. I mean, nothing else to tell you, man. This is a joke. This defense has been a joke for much of this season. My God. Like, take a good look at yourselves. I understand the injuries, but there's no excuse for this secondary. There's no excuse for this secondary to play this poorly. We could be like, oh, yeah, well, the Ravens dealing with injuries. Yeah, we are dealing with injuries. A majority of those injuries are on the offensive side. You understand, Jimmy Smith played in this game. Tavon Young played in this game. Deshaun Elliott played in this game. Chuck Clark played in this game. Marlon Humphrey played in this game. The only person we're missing from the secondary is Marcus Peters. And if you're telling me Marcus Peters is a difference maker in us managing to stop these guys, then pay Marcus Peters all the money. Look at this. Jamar Chase, 8 catches, 200 yards. How? You guys thought you weren't going to have to deal with a top-tier receiver, huh? You were like, A.J. Green's gone. We've finally been free from that. Jamar Chase said, nah, I'm coming here, and I'm going to take over that spot. They brought me here to take over that spot, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. And that's what he did. He dropped 200 on our defense's head. He completely cooked from left to right. He completely cooked Marlon Humphrey. I mean, it was just a joke. Marlon Humphrey's an all-pro corner, and he got cooked today. This defense, at some point, they were leaving dudes wide open. I mean, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? When guys are getting left wide open, what do you do with that? Uzama got left wide open and just ran into the end zone for a touchdown. What do you do with that? Please explain to me. What a joke of a display this defense has been for much of this season. You understand why we've been coming back from double digits? Because our defense can't make stops. It's great to make the comebacks, but when your defense can't make a stop, what do you do with that? What do you do with it? We should have lost to the Colts, but we were able to make plays in key moments. The blocked field goal, not to mention they missed 2 field goals that gave us a chance. So a little luck came into it, but our defense made plays to step up and make stops at the time. What happens when this defense doesn't make stops the way they haven't been making stops for much of this season? You get blown out like today. Joe Burrow got hit. He got sacked once in this game. 1 sack. If you can't get Joe Burrow to the ground, what do you expect to happen? If you're going to sit there and let him have all the time in the world to stand in that pocket, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to get crushed. So what else is new? Wink Martindale, I don't know what to do with you, man. You kept blitzing for no reason. I don't know what you were thinking in this game, but you kept blitzing. Why did you keep blitzing? What were you thinking? You gave up over 500 yards to this team. You embarrassed yourself. You know, a lot of teams have looked at the Ravens and they've been trying to figure out what this team is. Honestly, I don't know what to make of this team. You destroy the Chargers but get blown out by the Bengals? I don't know what to do with this. Like, what do you make of this team? This defense is a problem. This defense is an issue. We're not going to win a Super Bowl with a defense like this. So something needs to get together. These guys can't tackle to save their lives, and I don't know what to make of it. If you can't tackle, what can you do? If you're a defense as a whole and you can't tackle, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? If you can't tackle as a defense, it's not just one guy. It's the defense as a whole. If you can't tackle, how are you supposed to make stops against the top tier teams? I don't know, man. I don't know. This defense embarrassed themselves, man. This defense embarrassed themselves. Funny part is I've been spending most of this recap talking about the defense. Let's move on to the offense for a quick second. So Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense today, they didn't do much of anything in the first half. They didn't really do anything in the first half. First half they put up 10 points. Lamar missed a throw or two here and there. There was some times when Lamar was just missing throws. Part of it was him just not seeing it. The other part was just the pressure that he was seeing all day because Cincinnati was putting the pressure on him. But yeah, it was not good. It was not a good offensive outing. First half, they put up 10 points, but it was still a relatively close game. Then all of a sudden, Baltimore came out at halftime red hot. Lamar hits Bateman downfield. He hits Hollywood Brown for a touchdown. All of a sudden, we take a 17-13 lead, and everyone's thinking the offense is ready to go. But then you get to the rest of the game. Now, in terms of what Lamar Jackson did today, Lamar Jackson wasn't accurate for much of this game. Part of it just had to deal with some missed throws here and there that he just missed. Another part of it had to deal with him having to constantly throw the ball out of bounds. Otherwise, he was just going to get sacked. Like, Lamar didn't play terrible today, but it wasn't one of it. It wasn't a good performance. I'm not going to sit there and try to overextend it. It wasn't a good performance by Lamar. But, Lamar had to do whatever he did, man. Lamar had to do whatever he did. It was not a good performance. He's going to have to take some of the blame here. It's not all his fault, but as a quarterback, you're going to have to take some of the blame. Because there were times in the game where he just missed throws that could have been, big plays, and he's going to make those throws. There were times he missed throws to Andrews that he should have been able to make. So, yeah, Lamar, he wasn't great in this game, but he looked like Lamar, but he wasn't great in this game. Again, under 50% completion. He had 257 pass yards. He had 88 rush yards. He basically was our run game today. We couldn't run the ball. Couldn't run it with Freeman. Couldn't run it with Le'Veon. Couldn't run it with Tyson. We had no run game. It was basically Lamar in the pass and the run game. He was doing everything. Now, the only bright spot of this game was the receivers in some cases, because when you look at what Rashad Bateman and Hollywood Brown were doing, as well as Mark Andrews, they were doing their thing, man. They were doing their thing. Both Hollywood and Bateman had 80 receiving yards. They were doing their thing. Hollywood found the end zone. So they were trying. They were doing their thing. But there was just not much to really speak on for the most part. The biggest aspect of this game has to deal with our offensive line. It was just bad. It was just bad. Give credit to Cincinnati's defense. They weren't giving up a lot of big plays over the top, and it showed. So that was definitely one. They didn't give up a lot of big plays over the top, and it clearly showed. But most importantly, they kept putting the pressure. They saw our offensive line could not block them, and they kept putting the pressure on them. They put the pressure on them, and they continued to get to Lamar Jackson over and over and over and over again. I mean, they just continued to berate Lamar. Lamar had no time to throw for much of this game, which, doesn't help when Lamar is standing in the pocket and trying to do something and there's nothing there. So for much of this game, man, Lamar, he wasn't great. He was bad at times, but he had no time to throw. The offensive line was atrocious. What made it worse is we lost McCarry, which pretty much sealed this game. The minute McCarry went down, they had a free reign to catch Lamar Jackson, and it showed left and right. So it was just bad all around. It was bad all around. Offensive line could not protect Lamar. Lamar was getting constantly sacked and pressured throughout the game. The receivers showed up, but there was nothing there to really talk about. The running game was non-existent. Lamar was the running game. And offensively as a whole, we just couldn't get into the end zone. There will also be a couple discussions involving the Ravens' play calling, because the play calling was inconsistent at times. This wasn't Greg Roman's best game play calling, but you know what? I can't blame Greg Roman. Greg Roman tried to air it out at times, but, when the offensive line cannot protect Lamar Jackson, what is Greg Roman supposed to do? So Greg Roman, again, I'm not going to sit there and be like he had a bad play call. He did what he could. It wasn't the best play calling night from Roman, but he did what he could. And, again, it all comes down to execution. They couldn't block for Lamar, so we couldn't get any big plays downfield. And it showed. It definitely showed for the most part. So, yeah, pretty much if you're going to recap the offense, Lamar wasn't great. He made some plays here and there, but he wasn't great. But he had nothing to work with for the most part in terms of the offensive line. His receivers did their job. They got open. They made plays when they could. So his receivers did their job, but the offensive line couldn't protect Lamar at all today. And there was no running game. So I don't know what to tell you. We can't just expect Lamar to be Superman every single game. It's not going to happen. That's just not how life's going to work. So it is what it is. You just deal with it however you can. But yeah, recapping defense again. Defense was atrocious. This is one of the most embarrassing defenses I've seen in quite some time. This Ravens defense can't stop a nosebleed. Giving up over 500 yards of offense. Absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely disgraceful. They need to take a real good look at themselves in the mirror during this bye week. Because if this defense keeps playing like this, we are not going anywhere in the postseason. We'll make the playoffs, but we're not going the distance. We're not going the distance, man. It'll be disgusting. It'll be disgusting. So the bye week, in terms of coaching, Wink Martindale, John Harbaugh, you got to look at this team. You got to look at the offense, but definitely got to look at the defense and see what you can fix here. Because right now what I'm seeing has been a joke. The defense for the first half of the season, the defense has been a joke. They've made plays here and there. They've had moments here and there. But as a unit, they've been bad. They've been really bad. So it's time to get something fixed. It's definitely time to get something fixed. And it's time to make some changes here for the most part in terms of adjustments. As for DeCosta, well, you got the bye week. You got plenty of time. We are not playing next week. The deadline is November 2nd. Yeah, it's November 2nd. Yeah, the deadline is November 2nd. So if you can make some moves to fix this team, make some moves, man. Because whatever moves you make or don't make, at the end of the day, that would just be the team, man. So, yeah, that's just how it is for the most part. I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't know what else to tell you. This defense has been bad. May I ask if you're surprised that the Titans blew the Chiefs out? Not that they just won, but blew them out. I'm not surprised they put up that many points. I'm surprised the Titans defense held the Chiefs offense to that low. They embarrassed them. But things got to be fixed, man. Things got to be fixed. If we were fully healthy, Ravens would destroy Bengals. I'm not about to do that. Not taking anything away from the Bengals. The Bengals are a good team. The Bengals are a good team. There's no reason to sit back and be like, oh, yeah, they would have got destroyed by the Ravens. No, I'm not doing that. The Bengals are a good team this season. Give them their credit. They're a good team this season. Not about to take it away just because we're not healthy. They're a good team. They're a good team, man. They're definitely a good team. But, yeah, that's pretty much been the game for the most part. That second half was embarrassing. You give up 13 points in the first half, and then you proceed to give up 28 in the second half. This Ravens defense needs help. This Ravens defense needs help. The Ravens defense needs help. It's bad, man. You didn't just lose. You got embarrassed. You got cooked. You got destroyed. The last time we've gotten destroyed this badly was against the Browns in 2019. They came into Baltimore and made a statement. Now, obviously, Cincinnati and Cleveland were at 2 different points. Cleveland was 2-2. Cincinnati is about to be 5-2. And when you look at their next couple of games, they have a chance to really make a statement, man. Cleveland right now is dealing with some health issues. They're trying to get healthy, and Cincinnati plays them in 2 weeks. So if they could beat Cleveland, they're really going to make a statement, man. So it's been a bad game. I cannot lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a bad game. And I'm sorry that we all had to go through this today. This has been a terrible display. Offensively, it was just bad. Offensively was bad. In the second half, after the touchdown pass to Hollywood Brown, that offense did nothing. They did nothing. The offensive line couldn't protect Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson couldn't get anything going downfield. He missed a bunch of throws he normally makes. Running game was non-existent. If Lamar didn't run the ball, nobody was going to run the ball because there was nothing there. Defensively, it was a joke left and right. The pass rush did their very best to get to Joe Burrow, but they just couldn't. You can tell because they started off the game trying to put the pressure on Burrow, and it kind of worked, but they couldn't get to him. They just couldn't get to him. Then in the second half, they tried some more, but by then they were just getting cooked. Pass rush wasn't terrible today, but you could just tell that Joe Burrow was prepared for that pass rush because he was dodging the pressure left and right. Good on Burrow for what he did. Burrow killed us today. Secondary was horrible or egregious, embarrassing, which is sad because you got starters there. The only person that's not a starter in the secondary is Marcus Peters. So I don't know what to tell you, man. The embarrassing display left and right. Cincinnati's going to 5-2. We're dropping to 5-2. They're gonna hold sole possession of the first place in the AFC North. They're 2-0 so far in the division. So Yay. We're going to start off 0-1 just like Pittsburgh. And we'll just see, man. It's going to be a battle. Cincinnati is not going anywhere. They have made a statement. So it is what it is for the most part. This was a rough game to watch. It was a tough game to watch. But Baltimore, it's time. It's time to take a serious look at yourself. You need to take a good look at this defense and figure out what you want to be. Because with what you've displayed right now, I'm telling you, this is not going to be enough to be a Super Bowl team. I've tried to tell people left and right. Everyone's trying to crown the Ravens as a Super Bowl contending team and all this other stuff. I said nah. I'm not finna do this nonsense. It's far too early in the season to crown them. Just because I had people coming after me last week because I was like, okay, they definitely did great. They're showing they're a great team. They're going to be a threat in the AFC. But I'm not going to crown them as Super Bowl contending team right now. You have to really earn it. And the reason why is because I knew this team's been inconsistent defensively. I couldn't trust what I saw last week. I couldn't. I wasn't going to trust that. And I was right to believe that because look what they did today. I'm not saying the Ravens couldn't be a Super Bowl contending team. Obviously, they're one of the teams in contention. But I have a different standard, man. I need consistency. That's just it. I need consistency from both. The 2019 Ravens, one thing they showed me was consistency. Offensively, defensively, they showed me consistency. I'm not seeing consistency from this team. And until this team can get consistent, I cannot consider them a Super Bowl contending team. And that's just my stance on it. So, with that being said, the game is over. Baltimore will fall to 5-2. Cincinnati will go to 5-2 as well. They will take first place in the AFC North, and Baltimore will head into their bye week with a lot of questions involving this team. They got a lot of work to do. DeCosta, November 2nd. We'll see what happens, man. We got a lot of work to do. But with that being said, I'm going to end it off here. I appreciate you guys stopping by. This was the first ever recap I've ever had before on my live stream, but I appreciate you guys stopping by. It's been a tough game. It's been a rough game all around. But, Ravens will bounce back. It's a tough L, but you just move on. We'll see what the Ravens have in store for us after the bye week, and we'll just go from there. Second half is going to be tougher than the first half, so Baltimore better be prepared. But it is what it is. With that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man.